Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Just got some interesting info on Keon Ellis. Not earth-shaking or anything. Alan is going nuts over it.
I mean,
we'll get to it, Alan.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
Interesting comments from Keon on what's going on. For more on the Kings and Keon and everything going on. He joins us from the road. I don't know where he is now. Let's see. Where would he be? Philadelphia. Oh, his old hometown is Kyle Draper. What's up, Drapes?
What's up, fellas? I'm good. It's kind of fitting that you guys got me on today, me being in Philadelphia. You know, I haven't heard from you, Whitey, in about 2 weeks. You know, I've been wondering when the boys going to get me on. They haven't had me on since my Seattle Seahawks pasted the Niners.
Yeah.
I thought you'd check in with me at least.
Congrats on your Seahawks. I know you go way back with with the program there. You having a good time on the road? What's it like being back home?
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm gassed, man. It has been I got to start documenting the travels, if you will, because what happened is, and I explained this to Jay, Thursday night, I get a text, hey, we need you to go to Cleveland to call the game Friday morning. So I wasn't even supposed to call the game Friday.
Oh.
The March travel delays and ESPN and all this. So I hopped on the plane, landed in Cleveland, went straight to the arena, called the game. And then they were like, hey, also, we need you to call the Detroit game, too. And I was like, hold up, I only packed for 1 day, though.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, I wasn't planning on it. So I stayed on the road, but I had to be in Vegas on Monday for my daughter's cheer competition. So late Sunday night, I went to Vegas, then flew home, had yesterday off, and then flew to Philly, got here this morning. So your boy is gassed. I'm tired, Whitey. I'm tired, Whitey and Alan. So, Alan know the Philadelphia streets, though. He's used to these Philly streets.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Is it to the point now, Drapes, because you get to go at least once a year back? Do you do the cheesesteak thing, or you don't need to do it every single time?
I do the cheesesteak thing, and today, you know, the snow is bad out here. You know, the cars are blocked in on the streets and everything. So I just got a DoorDash, not Delisandro's, Explorer's Den over there on LaSalle's campus. So I did it. You know, usually when I come back, I get a cheesesteak and I get Chinese food because East Coast Chinese food, no offense to our West Coast Chinese restaurants. And Jay noticed, him and I went out the other afternoon for lunch. It ain't the same. I miss my East Coast Chinese food spot.
Yeah.
So if anybody could tell me, do we have any East Coast Chinese food spots on the West Coast?
Yeah. Jay, is that a thing? I mean,
it's
that's
a thing.
Really?
It is.
That sounds like West Coast slander.
No, it's actually in reverse. We're more authentic. They're more fugazi.
Right.
I got you. Okay.
We're more Americanized.
Okay.
And my uncle who lives in Folsom, when I moved to California, he's like, now you'll get to experience authentic Chinese food, real. Not that, like Jay said, fugazi stuff we got back home. But no, I miss my little egg foo young patties and
beef and broccoli, baby, with the duck sauce.
Was like, we got to go to this spot. And I asked the lady, I'm like, does the egg foo young come with the gravy? Not just regular gravy. I need that thick gravy. And she's like, yes, it does. Nah, it wasn't the same, man. It was not the same. So I'm happy to be back here.
How's your mom?
No, she's good, man.
Good,
She's in the other room. Hold on for a second.
Yeah. Tell her I said hi.
Hold on. I will. Yeah, she misses me on I'm making some tea here, man. You know, when you come to mom's spot, you gotta get the old school tea kettle going and everything like that. I don't know if you guys can see that on YouTube. So I'm pouring some hot tea right now. So
Does that teapot whistle?
It did. You didn't hear it start whistling?
I didn't.
That's why I got to tell mom and dad, they got microwaves nowadays. You don't have to. I've been waiting 20 minutes for this thing to boil, man.
Drapes, how long did it take you to get over Maxime's Rising Star snubbage?
Nah, you know what? We know it's a popularity contest, fellas. I wasn't expecting him to be there. Based on his production, I thought he did deserve to be there. But you got some names, guys that are, lottery picks. And somebody made a point. I think it might have been under Allen's post or somebody else's post. They call it the Rising Stars game. And it's a popularity contest, and Max is great, but other people are more noteworthy, if you will, more popular. And so I didn't feel like it was a major snub. I kind of expected it, to be honest with you. And Max hasn't been playing lights out the last couple of weeks. Let's call it what it is, And so really the NBA All-Star Weekend is about showcasing the game, not about who deserves it. It's more about who can sell the jerseys, who can sell the tickets, who's going to get the social media clicks, who's going to go viral. And, our guy Max, who's having a fantastic season, doesn't fit that bill.
Yeah, I think it was weird, Drapes, because the week prior to the voting, he was 6th on the NBA.com rookie ladder, right? Ahead of Dylan Harper and a couple other guys. This week he was 7th, but still, no dice. And you see guys that, Yang Hansen, guys that were nowhere on the list to get it. But I hear what you're saying. It's just that type of stuff I do think matters when you're trying to, build your team. And the Kings specifically haven't had a ton to cheer about this season. So I think it would have been nice. I think it did hurt Kings fans more than maybe it would in years past when you got your eyes on the playoffs, things like that. Right. You see somebody working hard and Domas goes down. And honestly, Max, it didn't look great early, and he kind of turned it around, and I think that's a testament, Whitey's been saying, to kind of Doug as well. So we understand, I have people, like you said, you saw my post, people talking about small potatoes, and I'm saying, look, man, we'll take the W's anywhere we can get this season.
Yeah, no, it would have been nice. I mean, because as you guys said, it's, probably the brightest star, the most optimistic thing for the Kings this season has been the play of young Maxime Reynaud. And so I'm not going to hate on, just what he's been able to do and accomplish. He's been great for us this season. I mean, you're talking about a second round pick that, has shown promises of being a starting caliber center in the NBA. And so I'll take it. I will say this though, Alan, I feel like, and when we were coming up and we're winning 48 games and I feel like we shouldn't be begging for national attention. You know what I mean? Like if the rest of the league don't recognize Maxime Reynaud, so be it. You know what I mean? I'm not out there kissing up hoping ESPN televises our game or Prime Video or anything like that. It's all about us, and when the wins will come, that's when the accolades will come. We win 48 games, we get clutch player, we get all NBA, we get coach of the year executive. So we got to produce on the court, man. We can't be begging these, media outlets, please look at us. The only way to do it is to win some ball games.
Catching up with Drapes. He's coming to us from Mom and Dad's house in Philly. What can you share with us about how close Keegan might be to coming back?
No, he's looking good, man. I saw him earlier today, as a matter of fact, at the team hotel. He's been going through his pregame warm-ups these last few games. I'd probably, this is just my guess, I think probably next week during our homestand, we might be able to see him. Who knows, though, with this trade deadline, too? Do you hold him out until after then? See what you got, let things settle down, and then play him out the rest of the season? But, the fact that he's been ramping up in some of his workouts, I think that's encouraging.
Yeah, Drapes, I know that a couple guys have been missing, Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, and that tends to make things easier to get minutes for everyone. But a night like last night, a lot of people are going to say, man, DeMar's still playing 39 minutes, Russ playing 33. But Nick Clifford, the guys that it seems like the Kings are focused on as far as their future, the young guys, if you will, Nick gets 30 minutes. Maxime gets 15. Dylan gets 22. They even snuck Keon in there at 22. Again, no Zach LaVine, Malik Monk. But last night was a night where even though DeMar played a lot because of who was missing, there really wasn't much to complain about from a development standpoint. Obviously, you want to win the basketball game, but a lot of people have been complaining about DeMar's minutes and Russ as well. Last night was a night you kind of got everything you would want besides maybe a Devin Carter sighting, but I don't think we're going to see one of those. So last night was kind of a interesting night, if you will.
Yeah, and with Sabonis being back, obviously Max, his minutes and Dylan Cardwell's minutes, won't be what they were. But you're right, Neat getting 30 minutes, a Keon Ellis sighting. I think, and this is just my guess, this is Kyle Draper speaking, not anything, but I think with the trade deadline coming up next week, some guys might be on the move, and there will be plenty of time for the Maxes and the Neeks to get 30 plus minutes if some moves are made. You're talking the last 35 games of the season, if you will, that those guys will be playing if moves are made. And so I do think development is a priority. I mean, we're seeing Neek get a lot more minutes as of late. I mean, the dude's playing 20 plus minutes, it seems like, every game now. The Maxime situation, he got a healthy dose of minutes. Dylan got a healthy dose of minutes. Now you're getting Domas. It's hard to sit down veterans too, fellas. I mean,
yeah.
If you decide to sit down Domas and Zach, how much money are you sitting down? What, $90 million or whatever it is? That's hard to say, you know what, we're going to throw $90 million, then throw DeMar in that. You're talking $100 million in salary. And so, I monitor social media at times during the games, and I see people say, oh, why is DeMar playing 39? And why? As a coach, too, it's like you want to win, too. And DeMar was balling out last night. And so he was the only one balling out. Let's call it what it is. And so it's tough, man. But to your point, Alan, it was a lot of people got what they wanted last night, I think, in terms of the outcome, the minutes, that kind of thing.
Drapes, there's obviously going to be even more interest in college players this year around here with the Kings looking like they're going to be picking pretty high. I'm just wondering if I know you're doing so much and you're traveling to Vegas for cheerleading competitions and then back east, so you got a lot going on. Have you seen any of the top college players? Have any thoughts? We don't know where the Kings are going to be picking. What do you think so far of this college crop? Anybody stood out to you so far?
Well, obviously the usual suspects. One guy I'm not sold on, and not saying he won't be a pro, a solid, like Cam Boozer. Like, what's his ceiling, would you guys say? That's what is he borderline all-star? Is he a franchise talent? Is he Aaron Gordon-esque, if you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Really, really, really high-level role player. And so, I've seen DeBance. I haven't seen Peterson play much. I've seen some of the other kids, I think it's deep, though, man. And here's the thing. To me, DeBonsa is probably number one, Peterson right there. After that, I think I don't want to say a crapshoot, but I lump the rest of those guys in, those next 3, 4, 5 guys in the same pot. And so if I'm the Kings, if you get a DeBanza or a Peterson, I don't think you can go wrong. After that, it could go sideways. It's not a guarantee, I don't think.
Drapes, talking about the future here, and we were going back and forth with the high flyer about the point guard situation. And we were saying, look, Russell Westbrook, he's getting time because the Kings don't really have a young point guard that they're trying to get time to, right? Nick Clifford is a guy that early on, Scott Perry had mentioned his ability to handle the basketball and said he could do some point guard-esque things, but he's not a point guard. Obviously, they still got Dennis Schroeder on the team, but how do you think they would address the future of the point guard position? That could even be getting one of these hybrids that are 6'7" and handle the rock like Paolo Banchero. How do you think they go about the point guard position, which was such a talking point going into this season that they brought in 2 guys to handle those duties?
Yeah, that's a great question, Alan, because I don't even know if you can get that out of the draft. You know what I mean? Like any of those high-end, top-tier guys addresses that in the draft. Do you go out there and do a Ja Morant, somebody like that? Probably not. I wouldn't at this point. I think that's a off-season, maybe even next season kind of thing, where I don't think they'll be able to check all the boxes here at the trade deadline and with the draft. Like there's too much work that needs to be done in terms of building a championship caliber team. And I think the reason why they signed a Dennis Schroeder to the contract that they did is to not buy them some time, but sort of a stopgap until they find that person. Let me ask you guys this, though. In today's NBA, do you need a scoring point guard, or like Alan was saying, do you just need that hybrid ball handler, 6'7", 6'8" wing guy that can also facilitate a la a Tatum or a Brown or somebody like that? Like, because I look at a team like Denver, I don't think Jamal Murray is necessarily a point guard, but he can play, like, you know what I mean? Like, do you need a Shea Gilgeous Alexander or somebody like that? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I know that some scouts, some of the things I've read about Darren Peterson is like, well, for what a point guard is in the NBA today, he can be that. So, you know, as we've talked a lot, Drace, when you were here, that pure point guard, I don't know. But yesterday when we talked to, Henry about it, he says, well, when you really need that guy, though, is in the playoffs. That's when you really need that pure point guard. But they're few and far between now.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't think if you're the Kings, you can be saying, I need this position.
Right.
I need that
Totally
position.
agree.
I
Yes.
think you just need top level talent.
Yes.
No matter where it's at right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, now, if we were close and that was the one missing piece, okay.
Mhm.
But I think you probably need a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 5. Like, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like,
Yep.
when it's all said and done. So right now, like, if I'm Scott, I'm looking at the draft. I'm looking at best available player right now. That's what I'm looking at, not necessarily the position. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. There's talk of going after a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. To me, Kuminga and Keegan kind of play the same position. Kuminga could play a little forward, but he's not a Bobby Portis size, especially when teams are going with the double bigs now. And so I think you just need top level talent.
Mm-hmm. We'll let you go on this one, Drapes. I know, as you discussed, the Kings Beam Team won 48 wins, and everyone was so excited. We all remember it. We'll never forget it. Next year, play in. Year after that, play in. Then it was over. Now we're starting over. And so for a lot of fans, it's like, you get near the top, and then it all falls apart. Are you having deja vu when you look at your Eagles right now, who had it all, and then it's just the whole thing? It's like, wow, what happened? Where are we? How do we fix this?
Nah, you gotta understand what you gotta understand. When you're a championship level franchise like the Philadelphia Eagles, we've shown we can flame out and then bounce back and go deep.
Uh-huh.
I'm still waiting for the Niners to show me something. Like, I was thinking this, fellas, real talk here. Over the last 30 years, have the Seahawks and the Rams owned the division, basically? Like, are the Niners the third level team in their own division over the last 30 years?
What kind of tea you drinking, dog? You must be off your Richter.
How many Super Bowls you got, Jay?
You said the
Seahawks got a
division. You didn't say
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
They've been there 3 times now. Rams got a Super Bowl. Come on, man.
You didn't say
Now, if you're
Super
playing
Bowls.
for
You said division.
titles and making the playoffs. Okay, you want those participation trophies? I hand it to you, Niners fans. Here you go. You got it. But we all about winning Super Bowls out here in Philly.
Scoreboard.
Was that the last 10 years? Before that, how long were you guys about being about the Super Bowl?
See, Jay, you know what the Niners are?
Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles of the
the
50s,
Eagles
the
daddies.
60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
The Niners are like the Celtics in basketball before they won this last one. Still living off the Tommy Heinsohn era, the Bill Russell. You guys still living off of Romanowski and I mean, some of the linebackers and Joe Montana and all those guys,
We were,
Roger
but then
Craig,
after
if
that
you will.
last playoff win, that one felt pretty good.
Yeah,
on
it
Jay.
did.
That felt really good. Kind of living off that for a while now.
But that's the problem, Whitey and Jay. I'll tell it you. Your Super Bowl was against us. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You guys laid everything into that game, and then what happened?
Beat the Eagles. That's what happened. It was pretty
You just
cool.
prolonged the misery one extra week. Like, honestly, would you guys have rather lost to the Eagles in respectable fashion or get blown out by your hated Seahawks?
Beat the Eagles. Beat the Eagles. That's all.
I like the way the cookie crumbled.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Jay, losing to the Seahawks like you did, that's rough.
It was expected, man. See, the one thing about it is if you're being real about your squad, unlike most Eagle fans who haven't seen championships for 50 years, you kind of like the Red Sox and the Giants and guys like that who have all flexing their muscles off 2 championships.
Ooh, Philly
but
special.
Beyond that, the fact of it is we knew going in if we could play the Eagles, we'd slap them around. And then they were playing with house money, so we were okay.
That's right. There you go.
You just prolonged the losing for 1 week. That's it. But I'm good. I walked into my mom and dad's house, and I thought of you guys because their little doormat in front is the Eagles.
That was a 49ers doormat, too.
Hey, all I know is, who are you rooting for come Super Bowl Sunday? Are you all Patriots fans now?
The referees.
I probably will.
Man,
I probably will root for
Seahawks,
Seattle,
baby.
Yeah. All right.
If that's my other
That's your team. I know.
NFC team.
Yeah.
The Seahawks.
Yep. That's the Draper tradition. All right, Drapes, we'll catch up with you soon.
All right, man.
Thank you. Say hi to your
good
mom.
seeing you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, Drapes.
Kyle Draper.
All right, now. I'll
Yeah.
talk to you guys. All right.
Yeah. Man, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Raider fan didn't want to jump in on any of that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all do your thing, but I don't know that I've decided. I think I'm probably rooting for the Seahawks. Yeah, I'm fairly sure I'm rooting for the Seahawks. I don't know why I would root for the Patriots.
I know you've been very patient here, Alan, but I know you wanted to talk about some of this Keon Ellis information that just came out this afternoon from your friend, right, Brett Siegel?
No. This is Michael Scotto.
Michael Scotto, I'm sorry. Well, he's also your friend, though, isn't he?
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
part of their.
Yeah.
Yes, I got my guys.
Okay.
Right. They're all very busy right now, but I got my guys. But yeah, this is from Hoops Hype, and I think it's a big deal, not because it's breaking news, but I do think it's a big deal because it's a unique opportunity for us to hear from Keon, from a non-Sacramento media member, which sometimes I think maybe I don't want to say sugarcoat things, but hey, we're just going to, say the right things. I don't want to tick anybody off. And Keon, not that he said anything crazy, but Keon basically said
I have the quote
this.
here.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
He says, it's always great to be wanted because that's not always the case, Ellis said when asked by Hoops Hype how he feels seeing his name linked with so many teams having trade interest in him.
People are now saying about half the league.
Half the league. This is the second part of it. It's definitely good that other teams see value in you. Oh.
Yeah. And now when you read that, and you're like, oh!
That tells me that he does not believe that the Kings see value in him.
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe?
It's definitely good that other teams see value in you. That doesn't mean that your team doesn't, but clearly they don't see the value in them that other teams. We know that already.
Yeah.
Doesn't see the value that other teams are seeing.
Yeah, it's always great to be wanted because that's not always the case. And if anybody's curious what else Michael Scotto had to say, Sacramento has discussed packages.
This, to me, is more interesting.
Yeah, packages of DeRozan and 3-and-D guard Keon Ellis with some teams around the league. Sources told Hoops Hype. It's worth noting that although Ellis is slated for unrestricted free agency, he's also eligible for a contract extension after the trade deadline. Ellis has been linked with interest from basically half the league. Obtaining a first-round pick is another scenario where Sacramento would part with Ellis, but several executives across the league who spoke with Hoops Hype believe he's worth multiple second-round picks instead due to his impending unrestricted free agency status.
Wait, say that one. That was Scotto saying that or Siegel saying
that? That was Scotto.
Oh, okay.
Scotto.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Several executives across the league believe that Keon Ellis is worth multiple second-round picks instead of a first due to his impending unrestricted free agency status. If that's true, it's kind of what we've been thinking, but that's not good.
But I thought there was a world where I guess he gets traded, right? The whole thing with Pascal Siakam, I can't remember if Pascal was going to be restricted or unrestricted, but the whole idea of, hey, I'll go here and I plan on staying. Is that just something that Keon could do, but they're saying he ain't going to do that, right? Because if you're Keon, the whole idea of let me see what I can make all this money hitting unrestricted free agency, do we really think that his market is going to be that crazy? Right now, he has his right to check in A and C if it will be. But is that the holdup here? Is that the idea of, hey, he could say that and extend with that team? He's just probably not going to because he's going to get to hit unrestricted free agency. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't really behoove him to do that. In some cases, like, we'll send you Pascal Siakam. We can send you somewhere where you want to go, but, some of these teams you're going to need to commit to them. Okay, for Keon, he's like, I don't need to do that. It helps the Kings if I do that,
right?
Potentially. Maybe they get more for me, but it doesn't help me.
Right.
So he doesn't, there's not the motivation for him to declare,
right,
you trade for me and I will sign with you.
Well, I guess the difference with Pascal Siakam was that was his way of saying, that was his way of lowering the price tag for what the Pacers were, or excuse me, at that time, the Raptors were going to get back because, well, Pascal's saying he's not going to stay in Sacramento, so we can't really do a deal with him. He is going to stay with the Pacers, so now the Pacers are going to give us more back.
Yes.
Which is not, I guess,
it doesn't quite apply to this situation
not really.
From his standpoint.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we'll continue with that when we come back. We've got Allen's Intel coming up, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right. I can't wait to find out what that is. Fresh intel from Allen next with a deadline almost here. Sactown Sports.
The 10th annual Sacramento